That's why today at the Board of Supervisors, I will be calling for legislation to specifically prohibit security guards from drawing their weapons to protect property. Human life is more important than property.
Right, so this is a new ethos, a new mantra that's taking over more of the left-leaning side of the American politics. But the philosophical question comes into the fact, which is more important, like human life or private property? And what I think that no one is able to articulate, because I looked into the comment sections and a lot of people are making bad arguments, in my opinion, is that it depends. If you have a natural disaster, like let's say you're on a boat and it's sinking, and the question comes, it's like, do you save the box with valuables or do you save the child? Then the answer is simple. Human life takes priority over property. But if you're in a time of peace, when there is absolutely no disaster, there's absolutely nothing going on, and a person simply tries to destroy someone else's livelihood, then I think that person has the right to protect their livelihood. Because first and foremost, this is literally the reason that the state exists, is to protect people's property, right? So you have the government has an army to make sure that other people from other countries do not invade and take your shit. And then it has a police force and a fire department in order to make sure that you are able to have your property. Without it, what's the point of a government? Like, everything the government does, whether it's giving welfare, giving healthcare, paying the military, all of that money comes from the ability of people owning and maintaining their businesses. And what's interesting is that in this situation, the government chooses to side not with the person that has a legitimate business, pays their taxes, wants no problem. No, they're not going to side with them, right? Like, they're going to demoralize the police, they're going to disarm the citizenry, they're going to say that you're not even allowed to have security guards that carry weapons. No, like, all of that is bad, but instead they're going to side with the criminal who is not paying taxes, who is robbing other people, who's causing misery in their neighborhood. Like, that's the person that we need to be compassionate and empathetic towards. And the problem when you do this, like when you think that the criminal is a victim, then society becomes the victim. I mean, you look at certain places in the United States, and I'm here from Eastern Europe, which is not renowned to be one of the safest places in the world, but even I am unable to believe what I see happening in the US. Like, entire stores locked down because of the crime rates. And it's not that the people there are more criminally inclined than what we see in other countries, is that the legislation makes it that if you steal under a certain amount, then the police is not able to stop you. The security guard is not allowed to stop you. They are creating legislation that favors the criminal. It's almost like they're expecting the criminal to vote for the politician. It's ridiculous. This is why it's immoral in some states for the prisoners to vote. Because then it's being viewed that the politician is actively seeking the criminal to vote for them, right? Like if I were to go with any type of ridiculous economic platform and any type of ridiculous social changes, but I would say, hey, all the prisoners will be released if I get elected, then all the prisoners would vote for me. And then that is being viewed as immoral. And yet, for some reason, I do not understand why you have, like, politicians which cater to the whims and desires of criminals. I cannot explain it any other way. Like time and time again, the law-abiding citizen is being viewed as the problem. Meanwhile, the criminal is being viewed as the person that is required of empathy, understanding, and kindness. Like, maybe someone can explain it to me, but the only way I can view it is that the people who view this way don't have to deal with criminals. Like, they don't get up in the morning, and when they get out of their house, they have to go through a very dangerous neighborhood. You know, if you're a politician, especially if you're high up, I assume you have, like, your own private security, and they're probably not going to have to abide by the same rules as the security guard at the mall, right? But secondly, they probably live in very rich, wealthy areas that are gated, and if anything happens, the police is nearby. They don't have to deal with any of this nonsense that the common folk has to deal with, so they're able to virtue signal. But I guarantee to you, the exact moment that you're going to have some looters go into their neighborhoods and start shit over there, then they're going to dial back and they're going to be like, okay, well, maybe we need to have some strong policing. Maybe we need to have some laws that are tougher on crime. And by the way, being tough on crime actually defends lives, okay? Because when a person goes into a property to burglarize, to steal, to do all of these things, right, they're a violent individual. Like, if they're willing to go into another place, into another human being's place of work in order to forcefully take what is not theirs, they already have, like, the criminal mindset, which allows them to do harm. So, when they do that, altercations can happen, people can get hurt. But if they know that if they go there, the person can defend themselves and they can have a weapon, they're going to choose not to. Believe it or not, criminals are still rational human beings. They are capable of understanding danger. They do know that, all right, well, this place is protected. Why do you think they're not robbing a bank? Why do you think they're robbing like some random store? Because they know that a bank is very well defended. Despite the fact that it has more money and access to more resources, they would rather go and rob the liquor store than to go and rob a bank. It makes perfect sense. It's logical, right? Like, a criminal is still a person like you and I, capable of making these decisions. So if they were to know that the legislation is very firm, is very strict, you're going to have people able to defend themselves, then the overwhelming amount of them may choose to actually get a fucking job rather than steal or loot or all this other shit. But, you know, if you're going to encourage this, like what law, what are you teaching young kids? You know, what exactly are you saying? You're saying that you can either do a hard job and work a lot for minimum wage, or you can be like a criminal, and when you commit a crime, everyone is going to be like, oh, well, he's a victim of society. Oh, we need to have more understanding. Oh, we need to have more compassion. Like, this is not normal, by the way. And I don't know any other countries that do this. Like, this is just bizarre, bewildering. Even for America, like, there are other states that do not push for this just bizarre ideology, and they're not dealing with this problem. Like, they don't have, like, this high amount of crime. So, in conclusion, I don't think it's accurate to ask what is more important, private property or human life, because it's in the name. It's livelihood. The life of some people is inherently dependent on that property. And a lot of people have put so much effort and energy in order to create that thing, and without it, they would be homeless. So yes, I can definitely understand why they would do anything in their power to defend it. The government should make it more easy for people to defend their property, not harder. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the comment section. Take care.